Take out the frozen bread dough. You can do it at night before you go to bed and put it in the refrigerator, or like today, I forgot, put it out on the counter. It's gonna stay there all happy and defrost. If you did forget though, to take out the bread in the morning, here's a workaround, and this is very specific instructions. This will significantly make the time less for letting the bread dough thaw. Preheat your oven minimally, no more than 120, and then be sure to turn it off. Then what you'll do is get a pan of hot water, put it in there with the bread dough. It'll take a lot less time, but don't leave the oven on. You'll be sorry. Okay, so a couple of hours later, the bread has been nicely thawed, probably 2 hours or so faster than if you had just left it out. I've pre-cut the bag along the edges, so you pull that off, and the dough is nice and squishy and soft, ready to be made into rolls. Okay, the butter. For one package of loaves, which is 3 loaves, I melted 2 sticks of butter. And then I just pour that melted butter into the pan that they're going to get baked in. I've already done these. So then what you do is you take out the loaves like this. They're all soft and nice. And I make, 8 rolls out of each. And perfection is not even possible, so don't try. So I cut it into 8 pieces of dough. You can see they're not all exactly perfect, but that's okay. And then what you do is you just kind of form them into a ball. Again, perfection is not even important. I gotta finish up this row. And I gotta finish up this row. Dip it in the butter. Lots of butter. 2 sticks of butter is actually 1 cup, in case you didn't know that. Dip it in the butter. Ooh, this has got so much butter, I might have to share some of it. Or not. Maybe. So I'm going to put 6 of them in here. Could put them back in the oven in the warm, toasty environment, no more than 120 degrees, and turn it off. But I got stuff to do before I want to bake them, so I'm just going to set them out here to finish rising, because it'll take a little longer in the cooler air. Remember this? This works great as a way to cover them up, because it doesn't really stick. Right? I'm just going to leave them there. Just a little note for you. These are Rhodes bread. Do not use Rhodes bread. You'll be very disappointed, of any kind. But I also want to tell you that you can get Bridgeford. It's already cut into little chunks, and I've used those, but my opinion is they're not as good and soft as if you use the loaves and go to all the work of cutting them up and rolling them into rolls. Just a little hint. Well, I think they are just about ready. That took 2.5 hours of rising in a fairly cool room. So if you wanted them to rise faster, if you put them in the oven with the nifty pan of hot water, it would have been faster. So we're going to preheat the oven to 350, and then voila. So you want to put them in the middle rack in the oven, and make sure you don't try to do 2 batches or 2 layers at once, because they won't turn out right. They'll either get too brown on the top or not brown enough. 1 layer at a time for 20 minutes. Done to perfection. This took an additional 6.5 minutes. I've never used this oven before. That's why I tell you, always go with 20 and then adjust from there, but you have to pay attention. So they haven't got enough butter on them yet, so this is what we do now. You just take butter like this and you run it across the top and just let it melt on there. Just a little extra yumminess. They've all been bettered. Just let them cool a little bit. But I'm going to show you the difference between a dark pan, you get that crunchy caramelized butter on there. This pan is not so dark, not so crunchy. So if you can do them in a dark pan, that is the ultimate goodness. So I'm going to cool for a bit. I just can't wait. Even while they're cooling. Oh, Caramelized. So good. You don't want to lose any of the crunchiness butter. Take them in a open container or a Tupperware, but put some paper towel in between just to sop up a little of that delicious butter. And off to Erin and Amy's we go. Kids are gonna love me.